All right, a very good morning to you. It's good to see you on this Thursday. And as Thursday, as per usual, it's Trendy Thursday. And today we want to talk about something that most of you have asked about. And this is as far as makeup on problematic skin. And today we'll take a special emphasis on acne. And I know for so many ladies and some men as well, you have struggled with acne and then don't know what to do, first of all, in terms of managing the same. But also, number two, when it comes to makeup, what is too much? What is too little? Do you even apply makeup in the first place? Because some people will tend to hide, you know, maybe the spots, the dark marks with makeup, but then end up, you know, doing more harm than good. So today we'll be showing you what to do, how to do it, but also give you as much information as we can as far as acne is concerned. And today, my panel today, beautiful ladies, and I will start with my immediate left. This is left, yes, immediate left. We have Dr. Winnie Maina, who is a dermatologist. Good to have you.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm well.
You know, I read your profile and I'm like, where? Hey, if we start talking about your profile, we'll be here for the entire day. But it's so good to see you and to have you. You look so lovely. This color really suits you this morning. Thank you. And we also have, our very own Glam by Becca. Every time you see us looking this, you know, lovely, it's courtesy of her. We have Beth with us this morning. She is a self-taught professional makeup artist and she works with corporates, the media definitely, and she is here this morning to help us understand more about makeup. You look so good.
Thank you.
You know, as we're used to seeing Beth in her natural set and she's beautiful naturally, but today I'm like, you look absolutely lovely. Thank you for making the time as well to join us this morning, just to give us all the tips that we need to have as far as makeup is concerned. Do we apply, do we not, and especially for problematic skin. But Doc, before we even start with, first of all, understanding acne, because I have had, there's several types of acne, right? The question that we're asking you this morning is, what is your go-to remedy for acne treatment? Once again, what is your go-to remedy for acne treatment? Engage with us on our socials, and that is at NTV Kenya, both on Facebook and on X, and tag me as well at Lubembe_Winnie. But if you want to use our WhatsApp number, it's still okay. 0112 500 400. Once again, 0112 500 400 is how you can reach us. But again, if you want to call in live and ask a question away, feel free to do so. The numbers will be down on your screen. Someone actually said on the QOD that they use ndimu and nyanya for the same. And I know you will tell us whether that's correct or not, right? Yeah. But yeah, acne. Can we just first of all start by understanding acne, the different types, and first of all, what brings about acne?
Okay. Yeah. Acne is actually very broad, like you had said. Yeah. And we have so many types. But just to simplify it for our audience, it's a chronic medical condition. So the approach to treatment depends on the type. So it's not a one shoe size fits all. And that is why we say we need to do the assessment so that we can curate a specific treatment for you.
All right. Yeah. What are some of the common types that then probably like you deal with, maybe on a day-to-day basis? And also speak a little bit on the men, because most of the time when we talk about acne, we usually just focus on the women.
80% of the acne we see is from the teenage transition. You know, when we're getting to the teens towards the early 20s. But we also have a transition that occurs in adulthood. And equally, the gender, men and women do get acne. Right? And then we have some type of acne that occurs as a result of medical condition. Not purely because of the transition from teenage to adulthood or hormonal changes. The other medical condition that can give us acne.
All right. We'll get deeper into that, but let's speak to Beth for a second. So Beth, you have done makeup for, I don't want to say a while, because so like, how old is she? But you've done this, you know, for quite some time. Again, with different people, both men and women, in terms of applying makeup. So what is it that you've seen, especially the different skin types that maybe you've come across?
In my experience, I've come across oily skin, very super oily skin, super dry skin, people with eczema, rashes, people with pimples that just pop. And they're pussy, you know.
Majority, would you say more oily as compared to dry?
Yes, actually majority are more oily.
Yes. And majority of the times when someone says oily skin, and Doc, I'm gonna throw this to you. So there's oily, like Beth mentioned, and then we have dry, and then combination. I was told the combination, the first I was like, what do you mean combination? Is that even possible? And then normal, right? So what exactly does that I mean, when we say someone has an oily skin, is it that they have too much oil
Not
in them, or
really.
what exactly happens that you categorize them in this different types?
We categorize them in, you know, it's different. We say our face has the most abundant oil-producing glands. For some people, we have excess oil production, and they say that is when they say, I have an oily skin, I have to keep, I mean, either cover it with makeup, or I'll need to see a dermatologist so that I can control this and I don't have to shine when I'm walking around. Other people do have a dry skin, just naturally. Others do have a combination. The combination you're talking about is when you look at the T-zones, you know, they are shining, but there is also a section of the skin that is dry. So we do have a guide on how you can establish what type of skin you are. Maybe you just go into the bathroom the first 30 minutes, take the first 30 minutes without applying anything. For some people, they will be able even just to step out and go by their day activity without moisturizing. Others, they feel really dry. Others, the T-zones, like we were saying, you'll see there is a bit of shining and oil. But that genetically occurs across both men and women. It's just how who we are.
And again, like you said, so do products then matter in this case? And I think maybe you can answer, then also Beth can contribute to the same in terms of, there's some people who say, if I use certain products, it completely dries my skin. If I use certain products, so like moisturizer, do products matter?
Absolutely, because when you're having that healthy, glow and natural skin, we are looking for the correct balance between oil and water for the skin to look that radiant and healthy. So for people who have excessively oily skin, we'll definitely have to choose the right product. Those who have dry skin, they'll have to choose the right product for that.
And Beth, so coming across this different, first of all, types of skin, right? So what do you do? Because I don't want to believe that the person with a dry skin, you'd also use the same technique for someone who has an oily skin, right? So what are some of these techniques, and especially for someone who probably maybe doesn't like makeup too much, but also want to look good, or would want to try, you know, applying makeup? What is it like go-to technique that you would advise someone to use, or that you also use as a professional?
The first technique is prepping the face with the right products and suitable products, because not every product can be used by an oily face. And there are specific products for sensitive skin, and you can use, there are moisturizers that are not too oily. So for example, for someone that has that is acne prone, you know, that has acne, you can use niacinamide first. Or salicylic acid. Because it helps to exfoliate and reduce the pores of the skin. And now, when we come now to makeup, you have to use a mattifying primer so that it can be a barrier between the makeup and the skin. And eventually it's going to first protect your skin from any kind of breakouts. It's going to protect your active breakouts to itch. And that's it.
I see that. Because most of the time we see most people who are acne prone, they tend to have like an oily skin. Am I right? Or am I assuming at this point?
They have excess oil production.
Excess oil production.
We'll discuss how that occurs.
So when Beth says they have to use a mattifying, you said primer? That sort of like helps to, first of all, like you said, create a barrier between the skin and the products, but also reduce on the oil production. This is my brain doing the math. So, but the big question that people would have this morning is, so for someone who, again, acne prone, right? Should they apply makeup in the first place?
It's subjective and objective at the same time. Because most people struggling with acne, honestly, they want to cover up a bit. So we do give the go-ahead for them to apply makeup. Subtle though, just a bit, but it needs to be very well guided, like what Beth is saying. Because in those makeup, there's something that they need to look out for. Is it oil-free? You know, those tags like non-comedogenic and not clogging the pores. So it has to be really, really guided by a professional, because we actually do get acne as a result of makeup if it's not picked very well.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And Beth also mentioned you need to prep skin, and Beth will actually be showing us, how to do it. Today, this morning, so also stay tuned for that. But yes, so Beth talked about prepping the skin.
Yeah.
Again, I'm tempted to ask you, so what exactly does that entail? And then, Dr. I'll come back to you, because you said there's some products that maybe stay away from, others maybe invest more in. So when you say prepping the skin, what exactly does that mean?
Look out for products that are oil-free.
Okay.
That do not have alcohol, that are comedogenic. By comedogenic, it means it doesn't, your pores won't be open.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So you look for products that are non-comedogenic. Yeah.
A layman, come maybe the comedogenic, like if I go to a shop, is that written?
Yeah, it's written. It's written on the,
Okay.
So those are the titles you should look for in a product.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So products that have fragrance, you should just stay away from them. Especially if you're problematic skin, you have a problematic skin or sensitive. Yeah.
Okay. Stay away from those. And then also you always talk about this in the makeup room. Beth is like, make sure you cleanse and you tone and you don't know, I don't do what next. Yeah. Why is this important? First of all, what is that process? And then why is it important?
That's just part of skincare. It's just to help treat the acne or if it's the rashes, all that. And you can just use it just before makeup, and even when you're not doing makeup. So it's very important because one, it helps you not to like break out. It treats the acne. So
because most of the time I've seen people just use soap and water and then that's it. Right?
No,
that is not how it's supposed.
That is not how it's supposed to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And doctors, even as Beth mentioned, this products, cleanse, tone, and then use serums, and then moisturizer, and then sunscreen, right? It's usually like a 5 or 7 steps. That seems too much. But yes, Doc, why is it important? And again, to add on to what Beth said in terms of products to stay away and products to heavily invest in for someone who has a problematic skin, acne in this case, yes.
When we say problematic skin, it's quite broad. Because most people, it's a lay term of, sensitive skin. By the time we get into the sensitive skin, chances are we have an underlying issue, like what you're talking about, acne. She mentioned having encountered people who have eczema when doing makeup. So those are clients or, people who have a sensitive skin.
All right.
So professionally, then when they're choosing the products, they need also to protect that skin from either the situation, worsening. If you have a sensitive skin and you apply something that doesn't sit well, definitely you have either a breakout or a reaction. So the baseline, from dermatology is that you need to cleanse. You don't go to bed with your makeup. You need to moisturize and then at least wear your sunscreen. When we come to serums, like she mentioned, niacinamide or something else, that then is guided towards the type of skin that you do have. It's not everyone will use this particular
Let me tell you,
product.
social media is this place where I see some influencer using, say, salicylic acid, hyaluronic, niacinamide, and then me, I'm like, I want my skin to look like that.
You go buy.
Yes, I go buy, and maybe it will not do good for my skin. So are there maybe like some products in terms of like hyaluronic, salicylic that you might advise someone who has an acne-prone skin maybe to invest in? Beth mentioned a few.
Acne-prone skin, even from where we practice, there are products, there are molecules or what I call ingredients that you'll hear us talking about. The salicylic, she's talking about the niacinamide. What else did you mention?
Hyaluronic,
and all that.
Glycolic
and all that. So these ingredients, again, they have percentages in how they sit into the skin.
Okay.
You realize people who have acne, it's not the same. When you work with someone just has simple rash, a few, others is very severe acne, others is just mild. So when we choose these ingredients, we choose them according to severity of the condition we are treating. So if you see someone posts, 5% glycolic or 5% salicylic, and you go by, you probably are not going through the same scenario they are. So you need to be very, very advised.
And then also, before Beth shows us again how to go about it, so what exactly is it in this product serums, you know, maybe that people need to know about because they're essentially acids, right?
Yeah.
So what exactly is it that is in them that people need to be aware of? Because like you mentioned, 5%, 3%, others, you know, they'll tell you start with 3% and then see
you keep
how they
going.
behave on your skin. Yeah.
The serums, we have serums that are acids and we have others that are not acids.
All right.
Let me just speak about the acids because you
Yes.
mentioned salicylic, you mentioned the glycolic. These acids, majorly put them in as exfoliants. Remember, our acne is coming as a result of clogging of the pores.
Yes.
So when we introduce them, we're trying to help, you know, your skin exfoliate and we don't have that plugging of the skin cells or build up and hence, you know, getting the acne. Now, when we have the acids, again, it's not a glycolic that sits for all or a salicylic sitting for everyone.
Yeah.
Maybe someone who has dry skin doesn't need the salicylic. The salicylic is helping us with the build-up and the acne.
Yeah.
So again, it has to be very well guided as you pick the acid
Absolutely.
and the percentage and for what role.
And for what role.
Yeah.
I like that, yeah, so that we do not end up creating more
problem
problems
that was there,
than
yeah,
what
right.
is there. Yeah. All right. So Beth, I can see our beautiful model, very own producer Mabel. She's already said, she's like, yeah, come beat my face and all those things.
Yeah.
But Doc, even as Beth, you know, goes over there, so just looking at Mabel, because we also have, you know, other pictures that will show, and maybe you'll you know, take us through.
Yeah.
And speaking of the different stages maybe of acne, but again, where would you put, just by looking?
At her.
Yeah.
Maybe
She has a beautiful skin.
She has a beautiful skin.
Yes.
But you can see what we are talking about, the redness.
Yes.
Maybe she could talk of sensitivity. I'll put her on the mild because we even count the lesions. The lesions means like the pimples, just to see how much of them do you have on the face? How do they look like? Do they have pus? Are they, you know, hard and painful?
Yeah.
I think she's in mild form.
Mild
form.
Okay.
Acne,
So at this stage, is it safe, first of all, to apply makeup? Because we might say, yeah, Beth, show us. And then we end up creating more problems for Mabel. At this stage, is it safe?
I trust Beth has done the due diligence in terms of picking the right product.
Yes,
She
yeah.
explained that really well, what you look out for.
Yeah.
And we're looking at how she does it. Is it,
Yes.
you know, just gently
Yeah.
to give her the confidence that she deserves at that particular point.
Okay.
So that she can be able to go
Yeah.
her day-to-day activity.
All right. So, Beth,
Yeah.
the stage is yours. And even as you had that, and just looking at her skin, and so like you said, stay away from certain products, especially for acne-prone skin.
Yeah.
But so then, what products would you advise someone to invest in? Maybe someone who's watching us and thinking, okay, yeah, I, you know, have acne-prone skin, and I am struggling to get the right products to help me, not to create more problems. So what is it that you'd advise someone to heavily invest in, even as they do their day-to-day makeup? Because I want to believe most people will just want to do the most basic, you know, of makeup as they go about their day-to-day. Yeah, and maybe you can just head over there as you tell us. Yeah.
So one thing that you should look out for is something that is hypoallergenic.
Okay.
Because not every makeup product can be used on everyone.
Okay.
So something that is hypoallergenic that can be used by people with sensitive skin. Also comedogenic, that is a must. That is a must. And for acne-prone individuals, you should use products that do not have alcohol and producing any kind of oils, because now that will make everything worse.
True.
They're already producing oils on their pimples.
Yeah.
So when you put something else, that it will just accelerate and maybe even cause itchiness.
Yes. And we do not want that.
We do not want
Okay.
that.
So say a client has come, right, and they are at a different, because like you said, for example, for our model today, you'll put her at mild, right? So what are some of the first steps that you do before even applying makeup? She's already seated. She's like, you take care of my face. What are the first steps that you take?
So personally, I'd want to know like the history of the acne, because not every acne is, some are genetic, maybe it's something you ate, maybe it's a reaction, it's hormonal.
Yeah.
I'd advise that if it's a reaction to something, just stay away from makeup, just for a little while until they, you know, they just zishe.
Yeah, I see that.
Yes.
Okay.
So, but if it's hormonal, you can just go ahead and just do makeup. But the approach is very crucial because you need to be extra careful. Yes.
Yeah. I
So,
like that.
Yeah. So, but I'd love to add something to what she's saying.
Sure, yes.
I feel like people just blame makeup, you know, for that thing. As long as you're doing the right thing and you're using the right products that cannot react on a client's face.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like, and also hygiene, wash your brushes.
Yes.
Yeah, wash your brushes. Don't sleep with makeup. Don't blame makeup for anything, you know, for everything.
Don't sleep with your makeup on.
Don't sleep with makeup
Most of us, I know most of us are culprits.
Yeah.
Just, you know, sometimes you're just tired from Kulobe Toka.
Yeah.
And then you know what we do? We sleep like this so that we don't
exactly.
pillow.
Yes.
But what we don't know is we're doing more harm, right? Than good. Can you just speak on that as Beth gets ready to start? So do not sleep on your with your makeup on. But also, I think it's you who mentioned. So looking at our model, you place her at mild, right? But so does it mean like that different levels? You know, when we're talking about acne, and then maybe speak on the active part versus inactive. Yeah.
The severity is actually, it differs from mild, mild to moderate, moderate even to severe.
Yeah.
But like what Beth was saying, our risk factors can be familiar, you know. You're just seeing the immediate family members having acne. There's the genetics, things that we cannot modify.
Yeah.
And there's also their hormonal changes or, you know, obesity, hyperandrogenism, all those will come in as factors.
Yeah.
So when we choose a treatment plan for any client patient, it's purely guided on the underlying issue, the causative factor, and how they present. Are they presenting at the mild form, moderate, or severe? But there are very key ingredients that you'll find them across anyone who has mild, moderate, and severe. And that's why now the internet will keep telling you, use salicylic, use benzyl, use tretinoin, because there are very key ingredients as dermatologists that we will not leave out, be it even mild, moderate, or even severe.
Yeah. So maybe you might have mentioned that I missed in terms of, so when you say maybe mild to severe or moderate, so what the presentation, like the actual presentation, what exactly does it look like? Yes.
We call them lesions or the pimples you look like.
Yeah.
When you go in terms of numbers, when it's mild, they're actually less than 30.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
When it's moderate, we have about 30 to around 125. You can count them on the face.
Okay.
When it's severe, they're even actually more, and in combination with other things. I'm sure you've walked and seen someone who has very big ones.
Yes.
They are more cystics, and you know, you can clearly tell there is a lot more difference with, you know, like what our model has today.
Okay.
So that particular presentation in terms of the lesions the patient or the client has is what guides us into placing them in the right category for the right treatment.
I like that.
Yeah.
So then again, do you have like seasonal? Because there's some people who, different seasons, they are okay. And then at some point, you know, they worsen. And then, you know, they sort of like calm down, cool down, and then they come up again. So is there such thing as seasonal?
They are. I wouldn't call them seasonal.
Per se.
I would say they're aggravating factors of season, basically. Because the baseline is acne is chronic, right? Our treatment goal is to make sure we get hold of the lesions that you have, right? Yeah. And make sure we get the resolution and prevent further occurrence and you to enjoy the skin. Yeah. But there are certain aggravating factors that will make you break out more. Like in women, around the menstrual cycle, some will tell you that it's way worse than any other day. Yeah. There are people who are going through a stressful patch in life. They break out more. Yeah. And something that is not very substantiated is about diet.
Yes,
you know.
That was my next question, because people say food, and especially highly, you know, in like fats,
fried food and all that. Yeah. So in terms of science, it's not very substantiated, but we see it a lot in practice. We call them food that have high glycemic index, something that spike your insulin. There's a direct relationship between that, the insulin hormone and the androgen hormone that triggers excess oil production in your skin. So now you end up with the build-up and the clogging of the pores, right? Yeah, yeah. So when we do the health education for anyone struggling with acne. Apart from the medical management, there's a lot more in how you take care of either your diet. Don't sleep with the makeup.
Yes.
Because you've collected a lot of dust, pollutant, and then it's clogging more.
Yeah.
So you might end up with more breakout. How you hydrate, the products that you use. When do you anticipate that more breakout will come?
Okay.
And how do you handle that?
And how do you handle that? I like that. I like that. It's more like holistic than just looking at one thing and pointing it out. Okay. Beth, I can see you here. So what have you done so far? I see you sort of like prep the skin a little. So what are you doing now?
So as you can see right now, her face was oily, but it's now kind of ashy.
A bit matte.
Matte, yes. So that is the primer.
Okay.
Yeah, that is supposed to create the barrier between now the skin and the makeup.
Yeah.
And this primer is also responsible to like reduce the oils that the skin will produce.
Okay.
So I've applied on her T-zone. This is where the oils were, like they were too much, and the nose.
Yeah.
So yes.
Okay.
You can also add a little bit of powder, just a little bit, because for acne-prone skin, you just have to use little product.
Yes.
That's the secret.
Yeah.
Because if you use heavy product, it's going to look cakey, bulky.
Yeah.
So you just use little amount of product. Yes.
Yeah, because we've seen a lot of people use heavy, and especially when it comes to foundation, maybe Beth will tell us more on the same, in terms of, so what coverage are you looking at? Because for someone who has an acne-prone skin, most of them tend to go for like full coverage, like heavy foundation. But like you said again, Beth, is that you end up looking cakey. So then how do you balance? Because some would want to completely hide it. Yeah, and end up using a lot of product. So then how do you strike that balance to achieve, to also allow your skin to breathe, but also, you know, do some bit of coverage?
Well, actually, that's a bit challenging sometimes. Like you want to have a full coverage, and at the same time, use when you use the light product, it might not cover everything effectively. But now, the secret is just like for concealer, just don't spread it like all over the face. Just go specifically on the spot. You know, it is time consuming, but it will come out so nicely.
I see that.
Yes.
I see that. All right, and Doc, speaking on the subject, just to piggyback on what Beth said. So when someone uses like heavy, you know, foundation or heavy creams, now we're even seeing tints, like that's that, right? So then what does that do? And especially sort of like in a quote-unquote active phase of the acne, does that then aggravate the situation? And if so, how so? Is it that the product, or is it the ingredient of the product that ends up aggravating the situation?
Most of the time we'll react to the ingredients, but the active phase of acne has an inflammatory process. I'm sure you've seen some have even passed.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And then we're bringing in a product.
Yeah.
Not naturally occurring to the skin, especially when they are open, they are raw and all that. So you're likely to end up with a more reaction, more clogging, or even a more, you know, higher inflammatory phase than it should have been before. The other thing I see is that people like trying to scrub it out when cleansing, and that's how Beth come in advising how they get off the makeup. Because you feel like if you scrub more, I'll wake up without this pimple, or I will wake up without this acne tomorrow. Again, how do we remove it? There are cleansers, there are soaps that specifically are curated for removing makeup in acne-prone skin. So that we're gentle. It's already a sensitive skin. So we need to be quite more gentle and as much as you can, not to irritate it more.
I see that. I see that. Now, and even still at the active stage, where some people might tend to try and hide it by using heavy, again, products, which, like you said, please don't, right? The other thing that most people would do is try and squeeze it out, right? And then apply a product on top, or try like this other, you know, home remedies that we have had help, but majority of the time they don't, right? So then what do we do? But I did not want to rush you into answering that. So let's take a break, and then when we come back, we'll pick from there, and we'll also see what, you know, Beth is doing and how far she is, and also she'll advise us more in terms of that. So how do you balance? Just ensure that your skin breathes, but at the same time also look good and also boost your confidence as you head out. But not forgetting the question that we're asking you today, and that is, what's your go-to remedy when it comes to acne treatment? What is your go-to remedy when it comes to acne treatment? We're also looking at your feedback after the break. Stay with us. The show is Your World, but if you have a question for Beth or Daktari, feel free to send them our way as well, and we'll ask them. But all that is coming up after the break. Stay with us. The show is Your World.
I'll have the usual on the rocks, double.
I'll have whatever he's having.
Real recognize real. No added sugar, no preservatives. 100% real fruit.
But I know that meat looks tender, but maybe not so much when your chest is burning. Remember what happened the last time? Hey, dude, you don't listen, man. Are you testing yourself? I tried looking out for you, bro. Hey, you see now? How's the heartburn? Look now, it's burning.
Do not hold back in any situation. Eno gets to work on the 6 symptoms of heartburn fast.
You do know you said all of that out loud, right?
If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
Having been appointed Manchester United's new head coach earlier this month, Ruben Amorim has officially started work at Old Trafford. Inking a contract until the summer of 2027, the Portuguese will need every bit of that time to turn things around in the red half of Manchester. And the enormity of Amorim's task was evident in his first game in charge of the Red Devils, as reality set in.
Just a payslip. Get a mobile loan of up to 500,000 shillings or an unsecured loan of up to 9 million shillings. Visit a Cooperative Bank branch today. Cooperative Bank. We are you.
Are you ready?
Lete king'ari nikusetie kifua. Niko na dem, mwenye kona dem pia. Masa flani ikifika na wachangamkia. After scene kabaridi sezi nkatulia.
Tunakubali. Gateka. Gateka. Kila mtu.
Cash pop za Nyandarua ni mawaru.
Only on NTV.
Get ready to have your mind blown.
Hey, what's up, my good people? This is your girl, Avril.
We're bringing you the hottest show in town.
The king of gospel, and I represent for Quantum Mix.
Yo, Butruse K, the sharp god up in the mix, you know what I'm saying? NTV, shout out to you, bro.
From exclusive interviews with the biggest names in the game. And snippets from your favorite live performances. Don't miss out on the fun. Tune into Kwetu Mix every weekday from 5 to 6 p.m. only on NTV.
For fast relief of strong pain, like headache, toothache, and muscle pain. And I am finally released from pain and ready to be there for those who need me. Try Panadol Extra for fast and effective.
My name is Eliud Kipchoge.
Hello, I'm Faith Kipyegon, 3 times Olympic champion, world champion.
My name is Janet Chepkosgei, former 800 meters champion.
On 7 December 2024, I will be running for education at Chepsaida Cross Country Run in Uasin Gishu County.
Let's come together and run for education. Education is success.
Let's fulfill our children's dream. Let's meet at Chepsaida.
You know, education is an equalizer. See you on 7 December 2024.
This is the place to be, up and deep.
See you on 7th.
Run for education!
conference will be held on December 5th, 2024 at the Serena Hotel, and the gala dinner held on December 6th, 2024 at the Safari Park Hotel.
Welcome back. The show is Your World, and today is Thursday, and as per usual on Trendy Thursday we talk about, again, real issues that we all need to know about. And today our focus is on makeup for problematic skin. And today, like Dr. said, when we talk about problematic skin, it's broad, so we are taking a special emphasis and focus on acne prone skin. And the biggest question is, should you apply makeup? First of all, okay, for people who are struggling with acne, and if so, how much is too much, or how much is okay? At what point do you allow your skin to breathe? At what point do you apply makeup? It's a whole lot. But don't worry, because we have the best people to discuss this morning. And we have Dr. Winnie Maina, who is a dermatologist, here on set with us to really give us all the tips and secrets that we need to understand as far as acne is concerned. And we also have Glam by Becca, not Maker. Glam by Becca. She is a resident makeup artist right here at NTV, and she is a self-taught makeup artist, and she does corporate and all those things. Okay, so look for her. She's given us really good insights as far as makeup for acne, and what to do, what products to look out for, what to avoid, and all those things. Before we went on a break, and Doc, first of all, let me just engage Beth, because I can see, where our model, hey, please do not go home after this. She looks absolutely amazing. So Beth, do you want to tell us what you've done so far? Because I can actually see some spots disappear.
Yes.
Yeah. Like you can't even tell. So what have you done? What magic did you do while you were on break?
And imagine this is just eyebrows.
Oh my days.
Yeah, but anyway, I've put some concealer on her forehead.
All right.
And that is the one that has,
sort of like covered.
Yes,
the spots.
Covered the spots.
Yeah.
So far that is what we have done. And then as you can see, she's not oily.
No, not at all. Yeah. So primer is the secret.
Yes.
And like you said, mattifying primer in this case for someone with an oily skin. Okay.
Yes. But remember, before that, you need to do your skin prep.
Yeah.
Yes. And like for different clients, like you can't just apply anything on them because maybe it can react.
True.
So you maybe ask someone what they usually use. If you don't have it, you can request them to just do their skin prep before they do the makeup.
Also,
and that
speaking
really
of
helps.
the same, there's some people who say, I have an event in the evenings, and in the morning say, I woke up, I washed my face, I showered, and all those things. So then someone just applies makeup without even prepping the skin first or even applying a primer. How dangerous is that, and what can it do? Because Doc was also talking about how the makeup sits on the skin.
Some people are just lucky because nothing happens to their skin, but they're exposing themselves to very risky factors.
Breakouts again, like you said.
Yes. And you just wonder where they're coming from, and maybe you just start thinking it's something you used, but it's the prolonged use of makeup without using the suitable skin prepping products.
I see that.
So eventually your skin just breaks out of nowhere.
Because even when Dr. mentioned, I mean, there's a lot of things that happen during the day. There's dust, there's UV rays, where dermatologists tell us, even when you are in the house, please wear sunscreen, right? And even dust and all those things, like you said, so they end up clogging our pores, and then you apply product on top, which makes it worse. So prep the skin before applying makeup, whether you have normal skin, non-problematic skin, or problematic skin. That's the basic, right? Okay. So before we went on a break, there was this question on the mistakes that people do and the home remedies and things that we have learned online that quote unquote will help, but really they don't, right? So what are some of those things that you have seen and you have heard? Again, our producer told us potatoes. They were like, wait, what? Potatoes help? Yeah, but what are some of those things that you've come across that you want to demystify today?
the DIYs, right? I've seen onion. I've seen the use of lemon.
Yeah.
I've seen the use of potatoes. Actually,
potatoes. Yeah.
What else have I seen?
Tomatoes.
Tomatoes. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
All that. I have no problem with, what we are trying to go back to is the botanicals. And I'm sure you've seen some products that are botanicals or something that is naturally grown.
Yeah.
However, we can't substantiate what ingredients are there.
Yeah.
And the issue that brings reaction or not sitting well with the skin is because of something called the pH. Our skin is slightly acidic.
Yes.
And that's why even in the choice of the soaps or the cleansers that we use, some might not sit well or they just immobilize. There's something we call, our skin is not sterile. There's a mix of bacteria and other things that actually help in the health occurrence of that skin.
Yeah.
So if you do use something that the pH does not sit well with the skin, definitely we get immobilize that and we end up with breakouts. So some do really well with those things, right? Others get a worse off breakout. But our biggest challenge is we are not able to quantify how much you use. And when you come to me, how again do I help you? And I don't have the data. I don't have the ingredients. I don't have the research that backs up these particular things to allow us to use them safely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And speaking of products as well, and it's still on this home remedies, that we I want to believe, I want to say like 90% of us have done it, right?
Yeah.
So where you're told, so use, the kawaida bar soap, right? Or mara, they say that one is better than the products that, we've talked about in terms of like the whole process cleansing, and all those things. Should we first of all do it? What is it that we need to know? Use that one. That's better.
That's better.
Yeah.
Right. So the challenge here is about 40 to 50% of the population have a sensitive skin, honestly.
Really?
Both men and women. And the underlying issues will be the eczema, the acne, all those issues.
All right.
So when we tell you, or when you're told, enda tumia sunlight or ile kipanga, what could be the challenge from where I sit from, dermatology perspective, is what we talked about, the pH of the skin. pH in these bars mostly, because they're meant for laundry and cleaning and all that, it's a little higher. It's in the counts of 12 or 11. And here we have the pH of the skin being slightly acidic at the 4 to around 5. So when that happens, you destabilize the normal flora or the microbiota of the skin.
On the skin.
So you end up with a more sensitive or even breakouts happening.
You know what's weird is I've heard people say that kipande soap that they use, the normal bar soap laundry, when they use it, and especially for people with problematic skin, acne in this case, it actually helps. Sort of like dries out. So in the process of them thinking it dries out, that's making the situation worse.
It will dry out today, tomorrow, but the subsequent occurrence will be more breakout. Because our physiology is that it's like when you work out, your body adjusts over time, or there is a compensatory mechanism. So if you're constantly stripping off the natural oils from your skin, which even those people who have acne need the right balance of moisture and oils. If you constantly strip off the natural oils of the skin, it goes into a compensatory mechanism, right? So you end up with more breakout. If it's someone who has eczema, you actually end up with a flare. So the as long as you notice your skin is sensitive. Sensitive means if you apply a cosmetic product, there is burning, there's tingling, or you feel something, it needs to be very well guided. Otherwise, we end up in a worse off situation.
And I think the message is, bottom line, before you put anything on your face that you don't know in terms of like the amount of ingredients, just please, first of all, seek a dermatologist's opinion and view, understand your skin type, and then based on what you are advised, then you can go ahead and do it.
Especially so if you have a sensitive skin.
If you have a sensitive skin.
The 40% that we said have a normal skin, they will use your panga soap and go.
And
they are okay. They use your sunlight and go, and they'll be okay. So if we peg our results on, maybe you don't have a problematic skin and I do have, and I use what you're using, I end up having more issues. Than
also, we have so charcoal-based, you know, soaps that we have seen around. Yes. What else? Oh, I forget the name, but yes. So there's a charcoal, and then there's this other one from Ghana. I forgot the name. Yes. Right? Yes. And we see this a lot online where people say, use this, it will help, use this, it will help. And a lot of people actually fall into that. Some, it actually works for them. And for others, completely does more harm. So what would you say, you know, to this?
If you do have a sensitive skin.
Again,
because the black soap, I've seen people get really amazing results and amazing skin with the use of black soap or in all those products we use, we see online. By the time they get to our shelves, they've been gone through the quality control measure. So they're actually good for consumption. But then who is this person consuming them? Do they have an underlying issue that they need to be careful about, which is the sensitive skin?
I see that.
And now the most unfortunate bit, those people who have sensitive skin are always the ones going out to look for more information. So they end up falling prey of wrong information in a worse off situation.
I see that.
Yes.
We've also had some people applying raw egg.
Oh, wow.
You know, You've never, I haven't seen someone who, so they take the, not the yolk parts, you know, the egg white, yes, and then just do that and then applying, you know, on the face, leave it for a while and then, you know, they wash it off. So, yeah, so many things that people are doing online. But I'm curious about where Beth is at. Oh, that looks really nice, Beth. So where are we? What are you doing now?
So I've put concealer on the specific spots, then let it to dry a bit so that it can give a better coverage. Yeah, so then after that, I'm going to do foundation. I'm going to layer it with a foundation, but just lightweight, just a little bit.
Oh yeah, because I was about to ask that, because sometimes we tend to concealer slightly heavier, slightly. My math again, going ahead.
Yeah, concealers are usually heavier than foundation. Yeah, and they're meant to like hide the pimples. Yeah, the scars. I mean, because you can't hide a pimple with concealer.
You can't. Yeah, it will
I mean, skin is skin, so it's just going to. Yeah.
All right. So you said very light foundation after the concealer, but the concealer you did not apply it on the entire face.
No,
you just did it on the scars or masks, right?
Yes.
Okay. So can someone just do a concealer, just apply it on the spots maybe, and then go about their business, or do they have to follow up with a foundation? What would you advise, again, depending on the severity?
Not necessarily. You can use a powder. You can just use a powder on top. You don't have to do foundation.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So just do your concealer on the spots and then do like powder and then that's it.
Yes.
Okay. I see that. All right. So after the foundation, then you should ideally be quote unquote done.
Yes.
Okay.
I should be.
She looks amazing. Look at her. Oh, she looks really nice.
There's something I'd want to add.
Yes.
For acne-prone individuals, you're supposed to be very gentle while when applying the concealer or foundation.
Yeah.
Because you can trigger the pimples when you're dabbing or when you're too harsh. Yes. Yeah. So that goes to like getting the best brushes. Yeah. The ones that do not have, you know, harsh bristles.
Yes.
Or you can use a sponge.
Okay, yeah, because it's a bit softer.
Yes.
Okay, I see that. And even the technique, like you said, don't be. It's like you're fighting with your friend. Please, be gentle.
Because it's going to trigger the pimples.
Yeah, and the skin is already sensitive in itself, so just try it as much as possible and be gentle. You talked about brushes as well.
Yes.
So then, how often? Because like you said, look for softer bristles, which helps.
Yeah.
But at the same time, how often should people ideally wash their brushes? And then for people with like sensitive skin and maybe like acne prone skin, how often should they also clean their brushes, and what products to use when cleaning the brushes?
Ideally, like as often as possible, like immediately after use. But I know, like, you know,
I know sometimes that's quite
but
difficult.
For acne prone individuals, at least 2 to 3 times, but it also depends on how often you do your makeup.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you don't do, if it's not your daily routine, you can wash them immediately.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
And when you're washing your brushes, you should go for antibacterial detergents. Yes. And oil-free cleansers. Yes.
Use that to clean
yes,
your
to clean. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
You can actually even use micellar water.
Oh, yeah,
brushes.
by the way.
Yes.
Yeah, because then ideally it removes makeup from your face.
Yes.
So it can also do the trick.
But you don't stop at that. Even when you use micellar water, you know, you use detergents, antibacterial.
Okay.
Yes.
I see that. Doc, what could happen if someone leaves their brushes for like, because I've seen people do that.
Yeah.
2 weeks, 3 weeks, sometimes even a month. And by the time you're seeing the brush, it has the product clogs on it and then forms those two little... Oh, it doesn't look nice. Yeah, but what could happen, you know, for someone who does that?
Acne prone. We usually will say acne is not contagious. Yeah. Even like when she's saying just clean them immediately. When you use them, they're left with a bit of product, right? Drying up into it.
The brushes, yes.
And I see, I don't know whether Beth will correct us in this, I see like sometimes they use damp just to help the makeup sit in well. So the dampness and you're picking microorganism here and there, definitely during your subsequent use, you're likely to transfer that to your skin and you end up with quite many issues.
It's like the bacteria or microbes, like you say, thrive
in humid and dampness.
Okay.
Yes.
So, and I think Beth will also advise when it comes to then storage, how do you, so fine, say you have cleaned your brushes, or maybe not, depending on the frequency and how often you use it, how then do you store you know, this brushes? Because some people tend to just leave it in an aerated area, others tend to lock them up. So then how do we store? But Beth will answer that. So when it comes to then treatment for acne, right? What are we looking at? Because like you said, it's not a one shoe, you know, fits all.
Yeah.
So what are we looking at? And then also over-the-counter medication, which we have seen a lot of people, I want to say, abuse. Okay. So do you want to speak on that first and then talk about the different treatment options for acne? Yeah.
Most of the ingredients that we use for acne management actually can be sold over the counter.
All right.
And that's what the craze of, I know I can use salicylic, I know I can use tretinoin, I know I can use benzyl peroxide, which is okay. You can buy. But then at the back of your mind, what am I treating? You understand? What level of acne am I treating? Is it going to give me the results? And we get a lot of this information of clients telling us, I've used benzyl, it's not working. I've used tretinoin, it's not working. But it's not working because it's not being used either the right way or being used for the right purpose.
Okay.
But they're really, really good products. They are over the counter because, again, acne is a chronic condition and it's a very expensive condition to treat. So if every time you client has to see you for consultation to be able to sustain. It's expensive. It becomes unsustainable. So most of the time, by the time we discharge you, you've gotten the hang of how to manage your acne.
Okay.
Because we don't anticipate that it will completely clear. It's a chronic condition.
Oh, no.
So that is why you see those who have gotten the hang of how to use, they'll post, I'm using this, my skin is getting better. But chances are they had a professional consultation at the beginning and they are now conversant, which is usually our primary goal, that you get to know how to manage your acne.
I see that. Antibiotics? We've also seen a lot of people use antibiotics, and now we're talking about antimicrobial resistant help.
Antibiotics are discourage anyone just from buying over the counter. There's some side effects to it. There's a lot of screening that we do before we pick the right antibiotic for you. How is your kidney functioning? Have you ever had an issue with your liver? Do you have any allergies? So it's possible to pick an antibiotic that really reacts badly to you. Because prescription, that is why antibiotics are prescription medication.
I see that. There's also something that I came across, like treatments, chemical peels, microneedling, laser therapy.
A lot more, right?
Yes. So what would you say on the seminar? First of all, when we're talking about chemical peels and maybe microneedling, what exactly are they? And again, recommended or absolutely not, stay away, run fast.
Run fast. The mention of chemical peels, microneedling, laser, this has gotten the momentum in the practice of aesthetic medicine now. But when we go back to acne being a medical condition, we like to treat it medically as it should be. Chemical peels or any other things that we add on, they come in as adjuvant therapy.
Yeah.
And in terms of price, it's not everyone who is able to go through that route.
Yeah.
So what are chemical peels? They just like they sound, the chemical peels. When we bring them into the skin, and there is also a wide range of them, it depends with the goal. So we have specific ones we use for acne, and there are specific ones that will sit for maybe your skin. The goal is to help your skin turn over or exfoliate.
Okay.
So some of the topical treatments we do over the counter actually play the role of chemical peels. They are chemical exfoliants. But the chemical peel in itself just, exfoliate and increase the cellular turnover. It will give you that glow, rejuvenation that you're looking for. Specifically for acne, there is the right one for acne that we do use.
All right.
Not
just
for
anyone.
Okay. Microneedling, on the other hand, we are not doing microneedling on active lesions like what you're seeing. We probably bring in microneedling when we're managing acne scars or the complications of acne.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then at what point, because again, like you said, so acne in itself, it's a chronic condition, right? So then at what point would you say microneedling is okay? Because again, like you said, there are those flares and then, they come down and then maybe at some point they also flare up. So at what point would you say it's okay?
Helpful.
Yes.
Between the first and the second month, the other thing about acne, we don't anticipate results in a week, in the second week or in the third week. So patience is very important. We start to introduce things like microneedling when you have achieved some form of remission in this condition. During this remission, I'm able to assess whether we have had scarring occur, the pigmentation changes, and there's some kind of scars cannot even be sorted by microneedling. Now we have to come in with a more advanced technique. So it's, acne scarring has type of scars, which are also, again, they're quite a number. So the assessment is what will help us know, is microneedling going to sort out this? Or we need to do something more.
I like that, Don't just go for it because everybody else is talking about, about the same. Okay. I can see Beth is almost done. Our model looks absolutely beautiful. I mean, she looks beautiful even without makeup, but now she's like, hey, who is that at this point? So Beth, even as you prepare to tell us, so, where you are at and, what you've done, we talked about brushes and how often we should wash them. But then again, when it comes to storage, right, of the brushes, what would you say is recommended? I know you need to focus because you're applying lipstick.
Yes.
Yes, but very quickly, storage. What exactly would you advise in a, locked up, say, locker, or leave it open in the air?
No, if you leave it open, it's going to collect bacteria. Yes. So just use a wash bag. A wash bag is it's made of plastic.
Okay.
Yes. Because if you use the cotton bags, they usually have the brushes collect these the fluffs. So just do a wash bag.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. But after when they're dry, not damp, because Dr. also mentioned damp and, microbes thrive in that. All right. So I see you're done. Mabel, you look beautiful. Look at her. Doc, what would you say? Looking at her, would you even say like there was anything like this? Right?
Yeah.
And I really like what Beth said, that don't use heavy product on the skin, because again, you end up probably aggravating the situation. Don't use makeup in an active, phase, right? Of the of acne, like you said. And then what else? So what is it that then you'd advise, even as we close, because time is running out, and what would you say? What would you advise? And then just based on,
the makeup perspective. You see, most of the time, even by the time you're coming to see us, there's a level of confidence that is affected. So that is why we give the go ahead to use the makeup, but very well guided.
Okay.
Because from the self-esteem and how you feel about facing the world, so it's fine.
Yes.
Get your subtle, gentle makeup on, but let it be very well guided so that you pick the right product. And it'll be fine. As we go through the treatment, you're also going by your day-to-day activity without issues.
And even for the men, because I've also seen some men actually applying foundation just to cover up on the spot and all those things?
It's okay.
What would you advise?
Yeah, it's just okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Beth, again, oh my days. Oh, she looks absolutely beautiful. You can, at his scars, where? Marks, dark spots, where? Cannot be seen at all. So as we bring this to a close, Beth, then what would you advise, based on what you have done today, what would you advise, someone with acne or problematic skin, and based on what you've done?
So first, know the cause of your acne.
Yeah.
Then secondly, look for something that works for your skin. Because in as much as every product, I mean the acne-prone products for treating the acne, there are so many, but not every product can work on everyone.
Everybody.
So you need to identify what really works for you.
All right.
Yeah, before you proceed. Also, the acne shouldn't stop you from looking good. You know.
Yes.
Yeah, skin is skin, and it will always look like skin, even under makeup.
Yeah.
So just use the right products. If you're oily, use mattifying products and a nice setting spray.
I like that. And I like, oh, she looks absolutely beautiful. So thank you so much, Beth, for your time this morning and giving us all the tips and tricks that we need to have. Glam by Becca is how you can find her across all socials, I want to believe. And she's our resident makeup as well. So we look this lovely, courtesy of Beth. And thank you so much, Dr. Winnie, my dermatologist, for also giving us all the tips that we need to have as far as understanding acne is concerned and what to do. We'll leave you with pictures of Beth's work, because she works, again, like you said, with different skin types, skin tones, all those things. Okay, so we'll leave you with pictures of her work and what she's done across these different skin tones. But have yourselves a lovely day, and we'll see you next week on Monday for Mindful Monday. Have yourselves a lovely weekend. Enjoy the rest of your viewing. If you just tune in right now, this will be on our YouTube channel, that is at NTV. But keep the conversation going as well on Facebook and on X. Have yourselves a lovely day ahead and stay safe. Goodbye and enjoy the beautiful work by Beth. Goodbye.